What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the top 10 things to do in Trondheim. Now, even though Trondheim is one of the biggest, most important cities in Norway, I really don't know all that much about it, and honestly, most Americans have never heard of Trondheim in their entire life. I mean, some Americans know about Oslo, but that's about it. So I think it deserves a little more recognition. I have seen some of the places you can visit in Trondheim. From what I remember, it's beautiful, like a lot of Norwegian cities. I even pulled up the map here just to try to remember where it's located. And it is, well, right smack in the middle of Norway, basically. Well, southern middle of Norway. Right there, north of Oslo. Okay, I need a little refresher on Trondheim just to remember exactly where everything is. It's hard for me to keep track of where everything is in Norway. There's so much cool stuff in a lot of cities I didn't know about. Trondheim in particular, I was interested in today in learning more about, and I found a video on the top 10 things to do in Trondheim, which sounds absolutely amazing. I'm interested, maybe these are going to be kind of touristy. I'm hoping it's also cool stuff that locals, that actual Norwegians living in Trondheim enjoy doing. But either way, I'm going to learn about some really cool stuff in Trondheim, and that sounds amazing. So let's take a look.
Trondheim is the third largest city in Norway.
Okay.
And also one of the oldest.
Wow, look at... Man, I feel like I'm going to be pausing so much to take a look at some of the buildings and the architecture. Like, this is just amazing. I didn't know that Norway had architecture like this. It's like kind of reminds me of a medieval castle.
Vikings started it as a trading post in 997 AD.
Okay. Wow, the Vikings are the first people who used what would be Trondheim. Look at this thing. What is this? Okay.
It was the capital of Norway until 1217.
Oh, it was the capital of Norway. Oh, that's interesting.
And new kings are still crowned here. Trondheim is the county seat of Sør-Trøndelag.
New kings are crowned in Norway? Like when there's a new king of Norway, they are always crowned in Trondheim? That's kind of an interesting fact, too.
Which is in the middle of Norway. It is built on a peninsula and connected to the rest of the country at its west end.
Wow.
Before we start our top 10, please click the subscribe button and tell us what is your favorite thing to do in Trondheim in the country.
This is so beautiful. Like, and it's, of course, has a lot of water, which always makes it so beautiful. So many American cities, most, are not connected to water or anything. So it seems like a lot of Norwegian cities are very coastal and are looking out into the ocean, and it's just beautiful. I never see anything like that except in Norway.
Comments. Number 10, Tyholtarnet.
Oh.
Go to the 124-meter-tall Tyholtarnet radio tower's observation deck.
Wow. So is this like the tallest tower in Trondheim? It's a radio tower? Can you go up to the top and where there's all those windows and like, that must be an incredible view.
To see the whole city from above.
Yeah.
At 80 meters high, the restaurant Egon is a revolving restaurant
Oh.
where you can spend an hour to see a 360-degree view.
Oh, they put a restaurant inside. Ha! That's funny. I wonder if you'd get kind of sick, like dizzy, from how it's rotating. Although they said it only spins around like once per hour. It's probably slow enough, huh?
Number 9. Explore Trondheim by kayak or tour boat.
Yeah.
The best way to see the colorful harbor buildings is from the water.
Wow.
And there are many different kinds of harbor tours.
Whoa, wait, you can just row past giant rocks and buildings?
Most tourists choose to go on one of Trondheim by boat's frequent boat tours.
Wow, this is amazing. So you can go as like a group or on your own. And just the fact that there's all this like old architecture, like by the coast, kind of in the ocean a little bit, that is so cool to explore.
such as on the trawler Rancho or the traditional Afjordsboat Freya.
Wow.
You can go on tours with a guide who knows about the wildlife,
Right.
history, and culture of the Trondheim fjord, fishing trips, sunset cruises,
Huh.
or even cruises in the winter.
Oh, this would be so fun. And I love that it's kind of like a tour, but it's an activity. You get to see stuff like a tourist, but you also get to do something, be in a kayak, being active, rowing. That makes it like double as fun.
Number 8. Wander around the harbor and visit the Trondheim Maritime Museum.
Okay.
At the mouth
Okay.
of the River Nidelv, you can spend hours wandering around the old port area of the city. Colorful
Oh.
old wooden warehouses are built on piles above the water.
Oh, that's so cool. This looks like a really nice exhibit, and I imagine like the port and boating history is like very important to Trondheim, all that.
Many of them have been turned into high-end shops and homes.
Yeah.
The best way to see these buildings is from the water, and there are
Oh.
many different kinds of harbor tours to choose from.
Oh, you can get like a tour of the harbor itself. Like go outside and get a tour in a boat. That's fun.
Number 7. Ringf Museum.
Okay.
Visit the Ringf Museum, which is Norway's national museum of music and musical instruments.
Norway's National Museum of Musical Instruments. What? And there's randomly a bottle cap vest as well. Okay. Did a band wear that or something for the performance? Learning about the history of Norwegian music sounds wonderful, actually.
For a longer and more in-depth look at Norwegian and European music,
Yeah.
it has 2 permanent shows. The Museum in the Manor House, which has musical instruments from Europe,
Oh, this is so cool. And I love how they have all the instruments on display. So this isn't really modern Norwegian music. This is like the history, old Norwegian music history. That's really interesting.
and the Museum in the Barn, which shows how modern sound and lighting technology works.
Okay.
Number 6. Stiftsgarden. In 1778, wealthy Christine Schuller built Stiftsgarden as her own home.
Oh. This is some kind of rich person's mansion that's been repurposed, basically.
78. Wealthy Christine Schuller built
Christine Schlur? Who is that, I wonder?
Stiftsgarden as her own home. When the Norwegian royal family comes to Trondheim, they stay there as their official residence.
Oh.
This mansion has more than 100 rooms.
Oh my gosh, so you can... That's kind of fun, though. Getting to get a tour of this mansion.
And is one of the largest wooden buildings in Europe. It is a
Wow.
great example of Baroque architecture from the 18th century. Since
Yeah.
1800, royals and their guests have stayed in the mansion.
That's funny how the Norwegian royal family will still stay in here, but the rest of the year, it's just like open to the public. I actually like that. Like it should become like a public service kind of thing. I actually like that.
A guided tour of its luxurious rooms will give you a good idea of how the social elite lived.
Okay.
Number 5. Archbishop's Palace and Museum.
Oh man, a lot of museums, but they're actually interesting museums, very interesting subjects. So I'm enjoying the museums.
The medieval Archbishop's Palace is not only the oldest building of its kind in Scandinavia, but it is also one of the best preserved palaces of its kind in Europe.
Oh.
The west wing of the palace dates back to the late 12th century. It now has a number of historical displays.
Oh, I am loving these displays. There's like art. There's these little miniatures of like Norwegian history, not pictures, but actually miniature replicas.
Such as the Norwegian Crown Regalia exhibit, which is a stunning collection of Norway's beautiful crown jewels.
Oh, you can see Norway's crown jewels. I didn't know that Norway had crown jewels, like for royalty. I know about the Great Britain's crown jewels are really famous and all that, but I've never seen Norway's crown jewels. That's great.
Number 4. Rockheim.
Rockheim. Not in Trondheim. and it's called Rockheim, and I can already tell there's a lot of rocking going on.
Pop and rock music fans will enjoy this trip down memory lane
Okay.
and the chance to hear some of Norway's best.
Oh, this is great. This is like a perfect complement to the other Norwegian music history of like old Norwegian music. You have this, Rockheim, that's like modern Norwegian rock music, which I definitely have never heard before. That sounds great and fun. It's like a concert.
The museum's collections are on display, and there are also interactive exhibits,
Yeah.
videos, and audio recordings to listen to and watch.
Oh, there is like a museum aspect to it as well. With like, but it's still Norwegian rock music. Yeah.
Through sounds and videos of performances, the permanent exhibit, The Time Tunnel, brings the history of modern Norwegian music and culture from the 1950s to the present day to life.
Oh, that's so great. From the 1950s to the present. Because I don't really know much of anything about Norwegian music, modern Norwegian music either. So this would actually be very new to me as well.
Different exhibits look at different parts of music and culture. Number 3, Kristiansand Fortress.
Kristiansand Fortress. Is this? Oh, there's cannons and a wall.
Kristiansand Fortress was built between 1681 and 1695 on a hill to the east of the city to protect it from attacks.
Wow, it's like 400 years old. It was built on the top of this hill to defend Trondheim. Wow.
Even though it is a bit of a climb, the tower and its small museum are free to visit, and the
Nice.
views of the city are beautiful.
Yeah, you're like on top of this hill so you can see the city. It's a bit of a climb. This is open to the public. It's free, which is always great. I feel like this is a must see if you're visiting Trondheim. I like this.
The Nazis held members of the Norwegian resistance in these cells during their occupation of Norway during World War II.
Wow.
There is also a memorial to those who were put to death here.
Wow.
Number 2, explore Backlandet and Gammelbybro, Old Town Bridge.
Old Town Bridge. Is this like a famous bridge? I like the little whatever you call that, those little overhangs designing the bridge there.
Cross the River Nedelva on the red arches of the Gammelbybro, Old Town Bridge, to get to the Backlandet neighborhood with its pretty streets and colorful old homes.
Oh, it's not just the bridge. There's like a whole other side of Trondheim that you can then see. Okay.
It feels like a small village, and the old wooden buildings along the river have been turned into shops.
Oh, that's awesome. Wait, this bridge lets you see like this older wooden architecture buildings that have, of course, been transformed into shops. Probably for tourists, but that's okay.
Galleries, coffee shops, and restaurants.
Oh, well, it sounds like a really nice sort of small town aspect of the city. That sounds really nice.
Number 1, Nidaros Cathedral.
Oh, this is number 1. This cathedral. I think this is at the beginning, and I was like, what is this?
Nidaros Cathedral is thought to be the most beautiful church in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
It
Oh my gosh, look at all the sculptures, the details. This is a fantastic cathedral. Wow.
was built by King Olav Kyrre between 1066 and 1093 over the tomb of Norway's patron saint.
Wow, this is 1,000 years old. Oh my gosh, the inside is insane. This is like an amazing feat of what humans are capable of.
Street Olaf. The cathedral is the northernmost medieval cathedral in the world,
Okay.
and it is one of the best places to visit in the city.
Oh, this probably deserves to be number 1. I feel like this is one of the, if not the biggest attraction in Trondheim, one of the most unique things, I should say, in the city. It's like a work of art. Like the whole building is like a work of art.
Kings were born and buried here, and since 1814,
Wow.
the Norwegian constitution says that the monarch must be crowned in Trondheim Cathedral.
Oh, this is where the King of Norway has to be crowned, in this cathedral, in the city. Wow. and a lot of Norwegian royalty has lived and died here. This is awesome. Oh my god.
So these are the top 10 best things to do in Trondheim.
Wow.
Please like the video if you enjoyed our list and share your views in the comments.
Wow, that was good. That was a good list. Very solid. That was by the Travel Boss, and I liked it. I got to give that a like. That was very enjoyable. That had a good mix of like, there was a lot of museums, but there was also like stuff like the cathedral and the mansion you could also visit, and Rockheim. Rockheim. That's great. And at the beginning it had more activity where you can go out on kayaks and explore, or go in a boat and explore the harbor, and you can cross the bridge and explore kind of the old small town side of Trondheim. Yeah, this is a great list. This would keep you busy for, man, so many days, actually. It'd be tough to see all this, but it is amazing. There's so much stuff I had no idea existed in Trondheim, especially that cathedral. I had no idea something like that existed. That's fantastic. So I really enjoyed this quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian culture and stuff in Norway I have never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.